Hey, I'm Fayza for TheRebel.media. Right now I'm at Fort George, here celebrating Canada Day, here at the reenactment of the 1812 wars and all the battles that occurred that period. Right behind me are American tents. They're about to storm into Fort George and fight the British and Canadian troops. We're going to go talk to a lot of the reenactors, talk to a lot of people organizing this event, and we're going to ask them, how do you feel about Canada Day, and how do you feel about those who don't want to celebrate Canada Day? Hope you guys enjoy. Do you feel like this is a great way to celebrate Canadian patriotism, going to reenactments and actually experiencing Canadian culture?
Absolutely, for sure, because this is kind of the birth of Canada, how we became Canada. Of course, being 150, this happened, 50, 60 years before that. Yeah. But if this war had gone a different way, we might not have been Canada. So it all leads to the birth of our country.
Would have camp followers who would follow the soldiers around, and soldiers and followers needed supplies, and therefore you had merchants.
How do you feel when people say they don't want to celebrate Canada Day because of any sort of things that happened in the past, something like that?
As soon as you start denying your history and our history, that's part of the problem. You have to recognize, we were not perfect by any means. There were a lot of things that we did wrong, and a lot of things that we misunderstood and still do wrong and still misunderstand.
So how do you celebrate Canada Day?
I drive the Americans back.
How do you feel about the British now that we're finally a colony and that we're free from the Britannica?
Oh, we'll always be here. God save the king, queen.
How do you feel for those people who don't want to celebrate Canada Day because of the injustices in the past and that kind of stuff, huh?
I would think that's pretty crazy because, the freedoms that have been fought, I mean, even in my own country, that you have to have your patriotism, and people that don't want to do the customs based upon other thing, I think that's wrong.
So you guys are the Americans, I believe, right?
Correct.
Why are you celebrating along with Canada Day?
Well, we're good friends with the Canadians.
So how do you feel like Americans should celebrate Canada Day?
Have a Canadian beer.
Do you have any message to people who don't want to celebrate Canada Day?
Go back.
How do you feel about people who don't want to celebrate Canada Day due to the injustices that we've done to the Aboriginals?
Well, it depends on what perspective you take, right?
Do you feel like anyone who's a Canadian should celebrate Canada Day despite the injustices?
Oh, I think if they're here, okay, and they came to Canada for a reason and they're living here, then I think they're honor bound to celebrate Canada Day.
There we go, a good full volley from the British, and you can really see that smoke that obscures the battlefield there.